How do you listen to someone that you don't agree with? That can be really, really difficult, especially with a really sensitive topic. But you need to remember that listening to someone intently isn't the same thing as agreeing with everything they say. We often think the two are synonymous, but they're not. You can sit in a very tough, crucial conversation and listen and ask questions without agreeing with anything that they say. So what I want you to consider is, if you're going into one of those conversations, the first thing you want to do is try to set a goal next time you're in a conversation like this to only understand them and not seek to be understood at all. I'm going to give you this challenge because by doing that, you start to develop the skill of listening even when you don't agree. We're often used to this idea of listening until we disagree and then we jump in. But instead, try next time you get in that conversation to say, look, we're not going to solve this topic in one conversation anyway. So why don't I just try this challenge out? Why don't I just try for the next 15 to 20 minutes to only understand them? I'm going to put no effort into them understanding my perspective. And it doesn't mean I have to agree at the end. It doesn't mean I have to say, I feel the same. I'm simply understanding. The second thing you can do is ask questions that get behind why people have the opinions that they do. We tend to butt heads and get into opposition because we hear someone's opinion and we think, oh, mine is so different than that, and we want to argue about it. What we don't often do is get behind the opinion. It's one thing to hear what someone thinks, it's another to understand what drove them to think that. That can be a more rich and connecting type of conversation. So if someone has an opinion, especially if it's different, ask the question that says, I'm curious, what have you experienced that made you think that? Or, I'm curious, what have you read or what have you studied that brought you to this opinion? Because I've seen things a little differently, and I'm just curious what your path has been. I find so often that when we understand the why behind people's opinion, we start to find commonality. We start to feel more understanding of people. Even if we don't agree with them, we feel more understanding about how they got to that opinion. We start to understand maybe some of the reasons that they've come to the perspective that they have. And when you can walk someone's path with them, you can connect with them in a much more meaningful way.